Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Wyatt, Six Drummer Magazine. I got Alan Cassidy from the Black Dahlia murder for me.
What
With
is
me.
up with everybody?
So I guess my first question would be, how's the tour going so far?
It's going pretty good. We're about a month into it now. We've got 17 days left, and just been, hitting it hard, and had a lot of really supportive, enthusiastic people coming out that have been making the shows awesome. So it's just made us more excited and more enthusiastic to do it as well, and feel very loved, and so it's definitely making us feel good to be out here.
That's awesome. So lots of support, lots of people, coming out to all the shows, doing pretty good so far.
Yeah,
Hell
yep.
yeah, dude, that's awesome. So tell me, what are some of your more recent endorsements? Like, what all you playing on this tour?
It's the same stuff that I've had for 10 years. I'm with Vader drumsticks, Sabian cymbals, Evans drum heads, and Tama drums.
Oh, nice. That's a good setup. Sabian, man, some of the best cymbals. My favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's new in the Black Dahlia murder camp with you guys lately? What's been? I know you guys did that show in Philadelphia. You guys did that beer festival, I believe,
Yeah.
and then they got this tour going.
Yeah, so we are out on tour for the first time with Brian doing vocals, and so that is obviously a massively new thing. And we did the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest, and that was at the beginning of this tour. And just like one festival out of like three, I believe, that we are doing on this. In about a week, we're going to be in Vancouver. We're going to do Modified Ghost Fest out there in Vancouver. And then at the end of the tour, we're doing a Milwaukee Metal Fest. So there's some big stuff like left in this tour, even though we're a little over halfway done with it.
Man, Milwaukee Metal Fest, it's been a long time. I tripped out. They came back out of nowhere, and it's been a little while since I've seen,
Yeah,
so I was like, wow, that's awesome,
yeah, definitely.
That's a ripper, too. That's a solid lineup on that one.
Right, I'm glad that we could get squeezed in for, our last show on that, so.
What would you say has been the most wild show on the tour so far?
I would say that Kansas was actually pretty good. We got out a Bucky's like river or pool float, and we tried to get the ape that we have, our mascot, to jump into that and like crowd surf on it, but he fell off. But then we got Brian into it, and he managed to stay up for a while, and then he was like, I gotta get back to the stage, I gotta sing. And then we got this kid in there from the beginning to the very end of like On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood. So that's like a 4.5, almost 5 minute long song, and he was up the entire time, and they loved us. Like, they were just going absolutely nuts, and thank God they didn't drop anybody. But that in Denver went pretty well. But I think Kansas kind of holds, the number one spot right now.
Kansas, of all places. That's a trip.
Yeah, right.
It will probably get pretty wild out here in Phoenix. They usually represent pretty hard out here. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, at the very least, it's going to get real sweaty and gross in there. So I'm definitely not looking forward to that. But
So, out of the songs you're performing in the set tonight, what would you say is your most favorite one to play, and then what's your most challenging one to play?
I would say the favorite one right now is Carbonized and Cruciform. We just got that in on the set list for the first time since I've been in the band, and this was my 10th year this past year. So then the hardest one is probably Verminous, which is the song that we open up with, because there's just a lot of really fast stuff that goes on in there, and there's some drum beats where the kick patterns will flip on a dime, or the blasting patterns will flip on a dime to go from like a couple of back-to-back 16th notes to like the upbeat of the 16th notes. So like it's like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then like it flips and it's like something else. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's just it's very precise, and since it's the first one out the gate, you really have to be like, you know, on top of it and conscious.
Gotta have the A game on.
Yeah, yeah.
I fully understand that. Okay, so what is your take on push-pull technique, doubles versus single strokes? Like, what kind of player are you? What do you prefer? How do you feel about like how drums are going, advancing? You know, all these newer techniques. They've been around a while, but a lot of people are starting to catch on to it now. Like, what's your take on it? Like, do you push-pull or do doubles?
I do all singles. My hands are all singles. I use like
Nice.
the molar technique on my hands, and I use the swivel technique with my feet. And at some point, I want to try and get going more with doubles on my feet because just in case anything were to ever happen, you know, I've been using that technique for about 12 years. I haven't like experienced anything that, you know, I felt was negative about it or was like causing me like bodily pain or something. But yeah, in case something did change in the future where I needed to implement a different technique, I think I would do that. And it obviously makes it, I think, that you can play faster speeds for longer periods of time. And the only reasons why I kind of like did what I did was first, it was just kind of natural, and second, I think singles are always going to be a little bit more powerful than doubles are. And so like I didn't want to get into a position where I started learning doubles on my feet and then like would go back to some band where maybe I'm not going to use, you know, a mic or I mean a trigger on the kick, and I'm going to use a mic, and I didn't want to lose that power on my feet or the ability to like go faster with my feet and have to rely on like because like if you hear somebody trying to do rolls around the kit doing doubles on their hands, it's not the same, you know.
It sounds different.
It sounds different. It doesn't have the power. Like I'm sure some people will argue that there's somebody out there who can do it, but like I think overall it just kind of, you know, it's better to do it singles. It's like more attack and whatnot. But yeah, as far as like things are going right now, I would say that, you know, you should use what is comfortable to you and what makes sense for your playing and what makes it the best. But I would try to also realize that maybe like you should maybe either learn as much as you can and really get comfortable with as many things as you can, or you should think about like what you may do later in the future and not like limit yourself to, well, I've been playing with like doubles on everything since, you know, 14 years ago, so now when I go back to a regular gig, like I just play like this, and you know, then that doesn't like translate as well to play some of this other materials. So like, yeah, I would just say probably be conscientious of what you may have to do in the future, but also like get a technique, perfect it, be like have it work really well for your playing, for what you're doing, because in the end you just want to sound good executing the material that you're doing, you know.
That's what I always tell people. Go with what's best for you. You know, what works for you. So I see a lot of drummers out there struggling, like trying to like do some of this stuff, and they'll get so frustrated and they're sitting there 10 hours a day, and I'm like, take a break, relax. You're overdoing it. You're overthinking. You're gonna lose it that way. You know, when you overthink, you get stressed, and you're like,
yeah, you definitely get lost in the mental weeds for sure.
So tell me, if you weren't doing professional drumming stuff for a living, what would you want to do, aspiring career?
So like when I was a kid, I wanted to be an animator and do like cartoon stuff, and I was doing a lot of drawing like in my younger years, and I didn't really keep up with that so much. But nowadays, I think like I'd really like to do something with film. I don't really know exactly what side of it. Like, it'd be cool to direct. It'd be cool to do some editing. It'd be cool to do voiceover work or anything like that. Because, like I said, I still like cartoons and all that. But yeah, I think anything on that side of it, just film in general, has always kind of like pulled me, you know, in interest wise. So yeah, I think that's what it would be.
That's pretty awesome. I noticed you do the Twitch thing too, and you play some video games because, you know, I've been following you on Facebook and stuff for a little bit now.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
So how's that going for you?
It's not bad. Slowly growing. I got a little bit more, disciplined with it, and started putting myself on a schedule, which I wasn't doing before because I just didn't want to feel that commitment, weight there. But then I realized I was like, well, it'll be easier for people to actually like tune in and catch me. But yeah, I got like a PlayStation 5, and so I've just been kind of playing whatever I'm interested in, and actually a fan sent me a Resident Evil game, so I kind of am trying to like play through that for them, and might start playing some more like cooperative stuff to get more people involved.
See, I'd jump on some PS5 with you on that, some co-op stuff. That's
Okay, yeah, nice.
We'll get down sometimes. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, so bucket list. What have you not done yet? That's like a bucket list thing, or something you have done. I don't know that you could share with everybody.
So, I guess some bucket list stuff I'd like to do. Man, it kind of ranges all over the place. I'd love to play like Obscene Extreme Fest in the Czech Republic, I think, and that's just like a bunch of poo-poo pee-pee like death metal bands, like bunch of pitch shifted vocals and like crazy grind and slam and all that shit. But Dahlia doesn't really like fit for that bill totally. But I would love to like either play or go there. Probably play more so, but that, and I think I'd be pretty stoked if we got to do a tour with Mastodon or Slipknot. That would be really cool. And other than that, man, I think just like getting the opportunity to maybe like drum for a few bands that I care about, like whether it's like a record or just whatever fill-in thing
Collabs.
or something. Yeah.
You were doing some really cool collabs during the pandemic with people. I noticed you guys were doing little video stuff like like super group stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was definitely some cool shit that I didn't think about like getting a chance to do, and so I guess like getting to play with Dan from Voivod and Colin from like all of his million projects like Gorguts and all that stuff. That was pretty rad. So yeah, in a way I've already gotten to like play with some cool musicians and do some various stuff. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like all shit off the top of my head anyway.
So anything you want to say to your fans, aspiring musicians for closing and stuff? About wrap it up. It's about. Yep.
Thanks everybody for coming. If you're a fan of my drumming, thank you a bunch. I've always just wanted to, put out some good, cool stuff for you guys to watch and appreciate. And I guess anybody learning to play drums, just be committed, be smart, don't overdo it, and have fun, I suppose. So.
Right on. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a pleasure, bro.
Yep.